Haha! Just as I finished that motion, that last note ended on exactly 12 midnight on December the 31st, 2015. And the only reason it was that close a call was because my light battery gave out. I was recording this actually a couple of minutes ago, and I was going to record a video passing through into the new year with my sitar, playing my sitar. So luckily I just caught that because my light blew out. I had to run over to the camera, change everything. So this exposure is going to look very strange because it's at night, and I've only got some room lights, and I just cranked the camera up. So it's probably grainy and looks terrible, but you know what? It is what it is. So Happy New Year. I thought it'd be appropriate to ring in the new year by recording this video and talking about my next little struggle, I guess, or not struggle, but the next thing I'm working on. Rag Bhageshri, which is one of the rags that I'd mentioned in the first video that I'm still continuing to play. So that one, sort of the scale sounds like this. It's a very cool rag. I like it quite a lot. So what I thought I would start working on is the 8.5 Tarana for Bhageshri. 8.5 beats. If you remember the first video, if you know anything about Indian music, you know what teen tal is. But if you don't, it's that rhythmic cycle that has 16 beats, and I mentioned it in the first video. And I actually played my application on my iPhone, and that was the teen tal 16-beat cycle. This cycle is 8.5 beats. So so teen tal, for example, is da din din da din din da na din din da din din da 8.5 din na din din na tirikita tuna din din na din. So it has this really sort of great offbeat feeling, although it's not offbeat, but that 8.5 beats makes it interesting. So here's a little piece in that time cycle. So it sounds kind of like this. So my challenge now, speed is the thing I talked about in the first video, and since then, actually, interestingly enough, I've had several people contact me over Facebook, friends of mine who are also musicians, saying, hey, have you tried this? I saw your video, you should try this. And a lot of really great suggestions, and I think I'm going to start working on some of those things. But essentially, some people had made the comment, interestingly enough, that speed's always a problem. And the only way you overcome speed is that you keep increasing slowly, 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 slowly. I was trying to make big jumps and I kept running into the same walls. And the tightness thing is probably mental. And somebody else in the comments on video number 1 suggested that. And sure, all of that is absolutely the case. So I'm still working on the speed thing. But for this now, the problem is the bend. See, that was off tune. That was closer. So you see, you can do it on the frets, which is how the song begins. So if I did everything on the frets, it would sound like this. That's what it would sound like. But to make it musical, you don't play it all on the frets. So the idea is this. So the bend is the problem. Sometimes when I'm sitting here practicing on my own, and in fact 9 times out of 10, I'll nail each one of those bends properly. But as soon as I'm sitting in front of my teacher or I'm trying to record it like this, I don't nail it. Those first 3, 4, or 5 times I was totally off tune and out to lunch. Before that, before recording an hour and a half ago, I played this for 20 minutes and every one of the bends was bang on. So there's another mental issue. When I'm in front of somebody, for some reason, I start to change what my fingers are doing because I think, I don't want to screw up. So to try not to screw up, I somehow change what my fingers are doing, thinking in some strange way it's more careful. But when I'm just playing for myself, see, those were better. But essentially I've got to somehow, get over that mental problem for the bending. But anyway, so this is my challenge now, is the bend. Because in sitar, right? This is what happens. You have all these means, they're called. Meaned, M-E-A-N-D. And so it's the idea of pulling the strings. So that's always a challenge. Everybody in learning sitar has to overcome this, and it's just you overcome it by hours and hours and hours and hours of practice. That's the only way you overcome it. So that's my challenge. But to end this off, I'll play a quick Gat in Teental, which is in Bogashri, and it's very nice, and it has lots of bends, but it sounds very cool. So anyway, I'll leave you with this. Screwed that last part, but whatever. See you next time.